Welcome to the consciousness, place of connection and transcendence. Riktan Hyo, den Vrishna Tosan Nivriktan Okya, Ira Tosunya de Vishlant, Karimran Kosha, Demla Tur Kirasti Neshado, Vanam de Keroshotam, Deverid Shante Konosh, Dan Et Nasobrin Jo, Ifa Shatodam, Kish Neverecto Usushand, Devin Daksha. Gaining this awareness, this consciousness, is to be all you can be every moment. The process of letting go and surrendering speeds up the awakening of your true self. Because with boundaries from the past, beliefs or concepts, it's hard to accelerate and make room for your real being, the consciousness that you are. From early childhood, you are programmed as to what the world is, the way it works. But in awakening and coming into your true self, you realize that the programming was just that. It wasn't the reality, the truth of life. It was what others have decided was truth. The only way to know truth is to experience it firsthand. So you can't rely on what others have said. It's fine. There's many, many books about consciousness, about enlightenment, but all of them comes from a perspective of the individual. Everything is always interpreted through your intellect. You have an experience, and the intellect attempts to define that. by comparison to beliefs and concepts and conditioning of the past. So in a way, awakening to your true self disbands all the past. You realize you are no longer who you were. You are a new being in the consciousness. And it is your prerogative to decide who and what you are going to be. I know that's a challenge because the intellect is so locked into the past, all those concepts. It doesn't mean that they're wrong, but also it doesn't mean that they're right. So you have the opportunity upon awakening to decide within yourself what is right. And really, no one else can decide for you. The true self must in itself decide what it is, who it is, and how it will be. I think this is where people run into a problem because they're relying upon they say. It comes down to awakening, you say. What do you say? Because that defines you, that creates your life. So if you're saying from beliefs and concepts, you see what you're doing. You're sort of locking yourself into some program, some belief, but that's not you. You are a free spark of consciousness, of life itself, not meant to be defined or limited. To experience your unlimitedness is to break free of the other, of the stuff, of they say. And again, I say it's not saying that it's wrong, but also it's not right when you wake up. Because it's up to you to define the universe around you. It's up to you to make up your mind what you are and how you're going to be, and how you're going to function in this world of chaos and beliefs and concepts and conditioning. You indeed are a stranger in a strange place upon awakening. You begin to realize that things are not the way you have believed them to be. Your whole perspective of existence rapidly evolves into a higher frequency and a higher possibility, greater power of creation. You literally begin to recreate yourself in the image you create, in the image you make out of life, the teachings that life offers. When we pay attention to the teachings of life, and that is an individual teaching, that is your experience. But you have to be careful that your experience may be tainted because of concepts or beliefs from the past. So it is difficult. When you run into a place that feels like you're not making any progress, you might take a deeper look and see what belief is holding you at that place. Because beliefs have the power to create a life. But it's not your life. It's the life that's been handed to you from outside. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm not saying it's right. It's this or that. And we are the or in between. You see, we are self-defining our own existence. We are saying within ourselves how we are going to be and who we are. So it's like you rename yourself, you remove yourself from the past existence, and you begin to say, well, who am I? What shall I be? How will I exist? Your existence is a consequence of what you know within yourself. But often your existence is a consequence of what you believe. And in belief, there's a lot of unworthiness. Saying, well, you don't deserve that. But that's not the truth. You deserve the whole expression and experience of life itself. There is no limit or boundary to that unless you believe you are limited, unless you believe there's a boundary. So it's about disbanding beliefs and concepts and conditioning that we've been programmed with all our life. You can imagine someone says, well, you're never going to amount to anything. That's a terrible thing to say, but it happens a lot. When a parent is disgusted or disappointed with you, you're never going to amount to anything. And that reason is because you're not following my path. You're not doing what I say. So that is an early show of independence and awakening because you realize that what is said to you from the outside may not be the truth. Each one of you must discover the truth of this existence from within yourself. And that may feel intimidating because how do you know? How do you guide yourself? You listen. Listen to the center of your being as the heart of your existence and feel. Feel what that is. We are creatures of feeling, and we can have outstanding feelings when we take away the blocks. We can be very creative when we take away the blocks. So you see, the path is that of allowing and also throwing out, I can say, the trash. The trash is just simply long held beliefs and concepts and conditioning that's been handed to you as the truth. The only truth there is you. Think about that. You are the only truth. The truth of your existence, the truth of your being. There's no one else's, it's yours. And as you give that free rein, you become very creative, perhaps even miraculous in your existence, because you suddenly know the real source of creativity power, the power of yourself, the real being that you are. And embracing that, you discover a great potential and possibility that you maybe never believed was possible. But suddenly you see, wow, I can do that. I'm awake. I'm aware. I'm connected. I'm free. I'm free of the past. I'm free of beliefs and programming. I'm free of conditions. Oh, I know. They'll try to sneak back in. So you have to stay vigilant, alert. You don't allow the intellect to interfere with the heart of your being. The intellect does a fine job of taking care of the body, but it is not a seer. It doesn't see everything. It just simply sees through its programming. The cellular structure of the brain determines how you see things, determines how the body is going to be. So when you break free of that, I'm not saying you eliminate your brain, you just put it in a different focus. You appreciate it, you honor it, but you don't allow your intellect to tell you who you are. Your whole body is you. And when you allow that, every cell in your body begins to align itself with a higher frequency. A transcendence can take place. You're rising with the new being that's becoming moment by moment in this very direct experience of life. We're on a fast track of evolution and awakening and connecting. So you see beyond the boundaries and limits of the past, and you create no boundaries for yourself. You simply allow free reign within your being to become and be all you can be moment by moment. It's a great journey if you're willing to make it. It's a great journey step by step. Wondrous thing takes place in this beingness and allowing. So wake up to your true self. Be who you really are in this very moment, in this existence.
Shantara says, thanks, Ishvara.
You're welcome.
And Todd says, exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you so much, Ishvara.
You're welcome.
Anand Slava say, thank you, Ishvara. Much love and appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you for your love and support. Thank you for being who you are.